In this video, I'm going to show you how to transform your NC Mx5, the way it handles and the way it looks for less than £500. And in association with Bofi Racing, they're giving me their best-selling splitter, which is an MDA style splitter for a Mark 1 MX5 to give away to one of you guys, free of charge. First 100 people to comment, I'll just send it out to one of you. So please subscribe and comment, and I'll send you one of these. So let's start with the rear of the car. First part of the spend, 80 quid on a really nice Ducktail spoiler. Now with this fitting and with the diffuser, preparation is key, so I'll show you how I fitted it. You need a flat surface to work against. The MX5 badge just peels off. This one doesn't. There's a couple of things in there you've got to remove, and it just peels off. Once it's cleaned, degreased and painted, I just applied a decent amount of black tiger seal around the entire perimeter of the spoiler. Then carefully place it on and then strap it, clamp it everywhere. You've got to leave it 24 hours and then you're done. It's dead easy to fit. The only thing I'd recommend is trial where you're going to put your clamps and that before you stick the sealant on, otherwise you'll end up rushing around like I did. I've been looking forward to the splitter for ages. Now this one doesn't quite fit perfectly. I'll show you. It's not bad, just needs compression in the corners. Best way of sorting that out, 4 screws. There, and then I'd apply my beader sealant all the way around this front edge. The bottom edge doesn't touch, so don't worry about that. Go around your exhaust trims and then across this top edge. Obviously make sure you degrease top and bottom. The rear diffuser from Bofi Racing is £134, and now I'm told it fits the NC2 and NC3 better than the NC1. I don't know why that is, but the comments seem to suggest that way. Anyway, have a plan on how you hold it in place. All I did was use a fence post to keep pressure on it, but this was really hard to clean up the sealant during the drying time, which meant afterwards I had to go around, scrape it out and then apply a nice clean bead afterwards. The stock exhaust trims are already 2.5 inch, but they look lost, especially now I've got the diffuser on there. So I ordered some 4 inch exhaust trims off eBay. They were about 30 quid. That will sort that out. Now the stock trims, they're tacked on, welded on top and bottom. There's a couple on the bottom, one on the top. So what I did is grind them in half, take some of the pressure out of it, smack the weld with like a flat blade, screwdriver and a hammer, and then grab them with some mole grips and just keep wiggling back and forth until it comes off. And they do tend to break at the spot weld. It's a matter of guessing then how far you want it. There would be considered perfect, but that's exactly where the weld is. So I'm going to have to go about 5mm back and I'll drill there. Luckily, big enough to get your hand in. I'm going to have to do something I didn't want to do. I'm going to have to cut this now because I can't get my hand far enough in to bolt it, but we'll just hope it goes okay. The exhaust trims, they're a matter of taste, but the rear of the car looks mean now. I wasn't going to video this bit, but I thought I'd show you the weird style of braided line. Now, I've fitted braided lines to every car I've ever owned, and I've never noticed a difference. But on this car, I did notice a difference. Maybe the race fluid. Budget about 140 quid. Now these have a banjo at one end and a female swage fitting at the other. And they've got a weird bracket too. You need to temporarily fit that before you fit the hose. Then you've got a small clamp that's in the middle, holds it way out of the way of the wheel. So I've finally got the GV front splitter back from the painters. It should be an easy fit. I have obviously already trialled it. It's got a couple of little like nodules there that line up perfectly with there's a there's like a centre point there. So that's going to be a bit. I've already screwed, I mean they're only wood screws, but really that's what they're for here. Screws all the way along, probably every 6-inch all the way around, so I don't get any flexing. There's a really nice profile pre-cut into these, and it does fit in the curve of the bumper. So what I'm going to do is get this one on as far back as I can, right up, and then I'm going to try mounting the corners. But it does go on okay. The only thing I will say is if you're going to get this painted, which I recommend you do, I think black splitters look a bit naff. Get it painted. They're really, really heavy, like in silica or like a releasing agent. So the paint reacted with this, which is why it's been a while for this video, but let's get it on. The front splitter from Bofi Racing, only 90 quid, makes the front look loads more aggressive. Now they didn't have a photo of how this fitted, so I took a bit of a gamble because it looked quite aggressive on just like the stock photo, but I'm really pleased with it. It doesn't make it look like an out-and-out race car or anything, and I think when you've got it colour-coded it takes a bit of that sharpness away. And when fitting, all I did was fit that middle one, as I said earlier, and then worked my way around the bumper, keeping it really tight up against, and just put a screw in every 5 to 6 inches. Next on the easy mods to do, RX-8 anti-roll bars. This one here is an RX-8 yellow front, really a bit of the softer one, which I think is the red, if I remember rightly. So you want the orange or the red. The orange on the rear is much easier job, I'll show you that. That's your stock front one. Your rear, you don't even have to jack the car up. Just those bolts there, and you can, that one, with some new links, is about double the thickness of the standard anti-roll bar. Now, getting this in and out, this front anti-roll bar, it's a bit of a pain actually. So obviously I cut the ends off. You've got your 2 bolts there and one just hidden just there, look. And then getting it through that slot is near on impossible. What you got to do, lift each end up and get the lower arm this side, just here, go to the other side, do the same, and then you can lift this end and you go out and you come out past this. I'm going to show you now and try and feed the new one in. After that absolute riot of a job fitting that anti-roll bar back in, these are handed. ADM 58543 is the front left and 544 is the front right. If you're like me and you rip these out the bag without looking, that is the correct way. So what I'm going to do is just attach these on there first with your bottom nut pointing that way across your lower control arm, and then we're good to go. You know, I couldn't be happy with the way this looks. That splitter looks epic. Just a quick walk around. So you've got the splitter, the anti-roll bars, which obviously you can't see, which is good for me, to be honest. And then you've got this rear end. So, rear end of the car, this, without the splitter, without the diffuser, sorry, I think it looks a bit like a Jag XKR with that like really round shape. It was like round all the way underneath. So when I had just the spoiler and not the diffuser fitted, it did look more like a Jag. Now I've put the diffuser back on, it's took like the ovalness out the rear end, but I still really like it. And the eagle-eyed ones of you will notice the exhaust trims are gone. That's because we've got a special video coming up with M2 Motorsport and their new system. They haven't even released yet, but I've got a prototype on this, so we'll look forward to that one. So I don't know what the roads are like where you are, but our country lanes are very bumpy. Oh, BMW wants to play. Go on then, let's go. Well, that's alright, laugh that. Just had a nice little battle with that BM on this nice little country lane. The anti-roll bars on a stock car, really good. And depending on how I like your setup, I did have this with just the RX-8 rear fitted for quite some time, and that was also really good. But both, it seems to equal it out a bit. The takeaway here then is that for £500 spent on your MX-5 isn't a whole lot of money when it comes to modifying cars, and it has transformed the car. It really has. My brakes are that little bit sharper, the handling a little bit firmer, as in stops the wobble but doesn't ruin the ride, and the looks, in my opinion, take it from standard MX-5 to really nice looking little sports car. Now let's go and attack another couple of islands on the way home, and we'll see you in the next video.